I remember when I first started driving, well, about a year after I started driving, I was the owner operator. I bought an old Freightliner truck with a little bitty sleeper. It was a 48 inch and it was a flat top. I didn't have the truck but a few months when I was traveling south on I-77 coming up on the toll plaza. After carefully evaluating the lanes, I determined that the far right lane, which was the only lane set up for wide loads, was the one that would be open first. And so then I could jump right back out there on the highway and keep trucking, losing the least amount of time. Problem was, after paying the collector my toll, my truck didn't feel like trucking. The transmission locked up right there at the toll plaza. The toll collector got mad at me, asking me why did I break down in the wide load lane. I said, sir, if it was up to me, I would not have broken down here in West Virginia in your wide load lane. I would have waited and broke down at the house. I was laughing, but he wasn't. Long story short, they called the tow truck. 2 hours later, my truck was in the air and I was in the cab with the tow truck driver on the way to the shop. I had been on the phone checking the prices, getting advice the whole time I was waiting for him to arrive, so I figured I needed a transmission, which would cost about $6,000. And since the went out, it would only make sense to go ahead and change the clutch and the pressure plate, which came up to about little over $7,000. I had already did my morning, so I spent my time in the cab asking about West Virginia and laughing and joking about nothing in particular. The tow truck driver was also the mechanic, and he had said that he would have to order the transmission. And in all, it would take about a week to get the truck back on the road if, of course, nothing went wrong in the process. I can't remember what I said, but I remember not being surprised because, like I said, I had already checked on all of this stuff as far as how much the cost would be. Anyway, as usual, I was talking, laughing, joking. The driver said, look, I ain't trying to be funny or anything, but do you have any idea how much this is going to cost you? I said, yeah, about $8,000 probably after the tow bill. He said, yeah, that's about right. I didn't think you knew because you're over there laughing and joking just like nothing has happened. I said, well, the way I look at it, I could have been broke down in the middle of nowhere, causing the tow bill to be much more. That's one reason to smile, but that's a simple reason. Another reason is being depressed about it wouldn't change a thing about what needed to be done to get back on the road, and it would only make the entire episode worse, dreading how much it's going to cost. The job has got to be done, and that's the common sense reason. The third and best reason has to do with I try to practice whenever I'm mindful to do so, especially in situations like this. I try to see the glass half full instead of half empty. That helps me to keep a positive attitude. He said, okay, well, what's so positive about spending $8,000? I said, well, this is a used truck. Whenever you buy something used, you do so with the understanding that it's possible for something to fall apart, break, or go wrong. This truck has almost 2 million miles on it. I don't know if the transmission has ever been replaced, but I do know that transmissions and clutches are wear and tear items and that they're supposed to go bad eventually. What I also know is that once you do this job, that the transmission and clutch is something that I will not have to worry about for the rest of the time that I have this truck. Not only will I not have to worry or wonder when this will happen, I have complete comfort in having a reasonable assumption of how long I have before expecting to have trouble with it again. That is, if you're a good mechanic. I laugh, but he didn't. Anyway, I should not have to worry about the transmission or clutch, is what I told him once this job is done. And so he said, I guess you're right. That is another way of looking at it. Now, what I see so often, I think this positive talk did something to put comfort in the mind of the tow truck driver, who was also the mechanic, and what he thought of me. And the reason I say this is because he ended up offering me a seat at his dinner table with his family and let me stay there in West Virginia until the part came and the truck was fixed. Almost a week later, I was on the road again. Now, going home until the truck was fixed and then coming back would have costed me hundreds of dollars more. You see, you build other people up around you when they see you handle problems in a positive way, and it often can help you in dealing with your own problems. Now, sometimes their response is an actual attempt to help, and sometimes it's just a natural reaction to your positive attitude, and they're not even aware that they're helping you at the time. You'll find people trying to make calls or give suggestions or provide contacts. If, however, you are painful to be around, then they're just going to be trying to get away from around you. And can you see how much of a difference it makes to look at our challenges in a positive way? What if we could choose to see the glass half full in life no matter what? Well, actually, we can. Because where there is a glass half empty, there is always a glass half full.